Oh man. Ugh. Even the startup sounds bad. It's John.
And John.
It looks like a car that they gave you when you moved in Italy.
The 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, according to Car and Driver, gets an estimated 36 miles per gallon in the city and 43 miles per gallon on the highway. That's about all it's gonna bring to the table if I'm being completely honest. Well, that, and it's the cheapest car you can buy, but rightfully so. It only makes 76 horsepower and 74 pound-feet of torque, and this, once again, is a 2021 model. This example, being a hatchback with a CVT, weighs a little over 2,000 pounds, so pretty lightweight, which helps it a bit with its low horsepower, but this clunky 3-cylinder paired up with a very rubber bandy CVT doesn't really give you too much confidence behind the wheel. I guess that's the nice way of putting it. That being said, you can even buy a 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. It's still the exact same car, but for $16,695 you can have a new car, which that's pretty cool, especially in today's day and age, but it's hard to justify spending that much money on this. Yes, this car has as much horsepower as a Civic from 30-40 years ago. Less horsepower than an NA Miata even. It's not a fun car by any way, shape, or form. That's not really what this car is meant for though, so I'll give it that. This thing is extremely cheap to buy. Probably not super cheap to own because it's a Mitsubishi, but they do get some pretty crazy warranties if you buy them new. And well, it gets like 40 miles per the gallon on highway. I get it. I actually kind of get it. Would I own one though? I'm not really too sure. This is the only reason that it's not an automatic no. This is my commute just one way, and didn't use very much gas. So I gotta say, I appreciate the car for what it's trying to do. It's a cheap, affordable car. 16 grand for a new car. You're not gonna beat that. Not in the United States, at least. But it's slow. Look at that. Almost 80 miles, barely any gas used. That's amazing. So, I won't call this car a shitbox. I'll call it an econo-box because, well, that's what it is. It's not trying to be anything different. But, that being said, it still does have plenty of things that I'm not too happy about. With the CVT, this thing accelerates like there is not a transmission at all, but just a rubber band in between the front axles and the engine. And with such a small engine, that really makes it all noticeable. The torque just really hits you about 2 seconds after you hit the pedal. It's weird. If you put this thing into sport mode, the revs hang at around 3k RPMs instead of about 1.5, and it gives you the impression that this tiny little 3-cylinder is gonna explode, even at low speeds. Going nowhere. This thing is... ugh. It's loud, doesn't even sound good. Oh my gosh. And when I say loud, I love a loud car, but these wheels are a third of the size of my Accords, yet I can hear them So loudly. This car's a little tuna can with, what, 73 horsepower to the crank. But since this thing's a CVT, it's to the rubber bands. Have I even mentioned this transmission? Hot garbaggio. I had to floor it to get onto the highway. And then there was a cop, and I got scared. Oh no, I just floored it, and now there's a cop. I must be speeding. I looked down at the speedometer. Nope, not speeding. The interior is very basic. No armrest. 3 cup holders. Little storage area. It's small. I was going to actually call the sound system here a highlight. You pretty much have a normal touch infotainment system that you'll see in a lot of cars these days, but it's just the audio, which is interesting, and I kind of liked it, but the audio constantly cuts out on me. I'm not sure if that's just this car specifically, or if that's like a normal thing for these cars. So yeah, this thing is significantly slower than even a first-gen Miata or a Civic from the 80s, which that's really saying something, but I will not hold that against this car because I think that that's really not what this car is for. This car is for fuel efficiency and just being a boring NPC mobile. And you know, I truly think that any car can still be fun. I fully believe that. But I think for this car to be fun, it needs a manual transmission.